guys, you're joined today by Bianca O'Kelly. I am a second-year law student and I am one of the hosts for the Social Justice in Sweatpants podcast, partnered with SRSJ. And joined with me, I have my co-host, Sabrine.
Hi guys, I'm Sabrine Kalu. I'm a first-year LLB student and I'm so pleased to announce that we're joined here with the SRC President herself, Vhutshilo.
Thank you very much for having me, guys. I'm very excited.
Thank you for coming. We really appreciate it. So I think to get everybody's nerves a little out of the way, we're going to play 10 rapid questions with you and just answer them as quick as you can. Okay, no thoughts.
Yes, so it's under 60 seconds, hopefully, if you can get through all of them.
What field of law are you most interested in?
Banking and finance.
Where are you most likely to be found on campus?
Sure, I'm everywhere. A coffee shop.
Slay. Give one word to describe your fellow colleagues.
Determined.
What hobby do you enjoy most in your free time?
Besides spending time with my boyfriend, I enjoy doing physical activity like running.
Who inspires you in the legal field?
I think, funny enough, all my inspirations are outside of the legal field. But one person I love their ideology is Steve Biko.
What is the first thing you do in the morning?
Pray.
Okay.
Give one song you currently have on repeat.
I'd sell my mom's fridge to watch Frank Ocean, so probably Pink Matter by Frank Ocean.
What do you wish more people knew about you?
That I'm bubbly. I think people automatically assume I'm very strict and unapproachable, but I'm just a clown, man.
What quote do you stand by?
Lift as you rise. That's probably one quote I've taken throughout my whole life of living, if I can put it like that. I believe there's more than one seat at the top and we can all make it, so lift others as you rise to the top.
That's adorable.
I respect that. Are you a morning or a night person?
I think a night person. Yeah, that's where my full personality comes out.
What was more challenging, head girl or president of the SRC?
They both came with their own challenges, considering I'm a COVID baby, so I was head girl in 2020. But I think presidency.
Okay.
What is your favorite on-the-go snack for a busy day?
Is sushi considered an on-the-go snack?
Not at all, but we'll take it. We'll take it.
Okay, but I think salami sticks.
Oh.
Yeah.
And what's your all-time favorite movie?
Oh, damn. Hunger Games.
Okay.
Same.
So last question, what is your dream destination?
Dream destination. Sure. I want to go everywhere. But I think I would love to go to Greece.
It's very beautiful there.
Okay. I think we definitely went over 60 seconds, but we loved your answer.
I'm sorry.
Never apologize for being you. So to move it on to a little bit more personal and to get to know you and for the audience to get to know you, we would love to ask you a few questions on that regard, starting off with some questions that Sabrine has for you.
Yes.
Definitely.
So the first question is, I'd like you to tell us a little bit more about yourself. Specifically, how do we get from little Chi-Chi to SRC President?
Damn. So once again, my name is Vhutshilo. It means life in Venda. But funny enough, that's not the name I go by. So a lot of people call me Chi-Chi. And that's a name my mom gave me as a little Chi-Chi. And it just stuck through all the way to university. I was born and raised in Joburg. I am the eldest of 2 younger sisters. Raised by a single mom. I went to Parktown High School for girls and was the head girl in grade 12, obviously, because that's matric. But I only moved to Parktown in grade 10, so I moved high schools twice. Decided to study BCom Law at the University of Pretoria, graduated in 2023, and now I'm in my final year of LLB. Over and above that, I'm very passionate about sports. I used to play touch rugby from grade 4. And then in 2021, I tore my MCL, so I'm not as active on the field, but I do enjoy running and hiking. I also enjoy fashion. I think you can tell so much about a person by the way they dress. I think just the ability to mix and match different things, like that form of expression for me is a big thing. I also really enjoy music. I think you would have seen by my Frank Ocean reference. I love listening to music. I love singing. So yeah, that's a bit about myself.
On that little note about music, there's actually an app called Earbuds. This is no way sponsoring them, but it's so cool because you get to see what music your friends are listening to while they're currently listening to it. So I currently love that app. But if you could say something to that little girl that you have described, what would it be?
Trust the process.
That's a big one.
So you asked me in our I'm gonna call them popcorn questions. You asked me what are one of the quotes I live by. So outside of lift as you rise, I think one thing I've stood by is trust the process. I took it as far as getting a tattoo of trust the process on my arm. But I think probably almost every day I always ask myself why I started, where I'm going, and who I'm doing it for. And as far as besides little Chi-Chi, I mean, even now Chi-Chi, looking into the future, I always just tell myself, trust the process. Everything that you're meant to do, where you're meant to land up, things you're meant to be surrounded by, it will work out the way it's meant to work out.
That's very true. It's very true.
I love that. That's powerful. So could you please tell us a little bit more about the feeling of being SRC President?
Oh, it's a lot. I think first and foremost, it's definitely a full circle moment. I have this, I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but every time I walk into a new space, I really tell myself what I'm going to achieve from it or what I'd love to achieve. And I remember walking into university and, in the beginning of the year, the presidents always give a speech to the first years, and saying that that's going to be me one day sitting on that or standing on that stage and giving that speech. And I didn't know when and how it was going to happen, but I definitely knew that I would be walking or standing in those shoes. So I think for it to finally happen is definitely a full circle moment, because I've gone from dreaming and working hard for it to it actually materializing. Experience very challenging. Every day is a new challenge. Every day is very different. There's a lot that goes on. I think
can imagine.
I almost want to say you experience out of body experiences every single day, but also very rewarding if you're passionate about leadership.
That's very beautiful. I think a lot of people lack, or not necessarily lack the mindset, but they forget to envision themselves. They go into a space and they kind of just have accepted what life throws at them, so they don't envision themselves as something bigger. So I think it's quite important that they keep that mindset of it, and I can imagine that it's quite a weight on your shoulders. So how does it feel to be representing 56,000 students?
Very scary, but also very humbling. I think as a university student, especially if I suppose in any sphere, but as a university student, you can easily get stuck in your own bubble, and stuck with your own problems and what you're going through. And the moment you get involved in leadership or any type of involvement in the university, you start to realize that you really are an ant. And not in a bad way, but there's so much more going on around you. There's so many problems around you. There's a lot of things people are going through that you don't really get exposed to or know about unless you actively participate in the university. So I almost want to say humbling in the sense that as much as I fight demons and I go through things, I'm in such a privileged position. And that boils down to having a place to sleep, having a place, or having food every day. Being in a position where I can attend university and know that my fees will be paid. A lot of students just come here and work, go home, and they forget that there are students who are sleeping in the library, who don't eat meals, who don't have sanitary products. So I think just being exposed to that has made me realize that it really is bigger than me, and I'm sitting in a very privileged position.
It's very important to recognize that, and I think especially within an SRC president, to have that recognition of such a mindset, it impacts how you represent these students, and I think it's really beautiful.
I think you represented yourself being SRC president so well, and I think you're such a powerful figure amongst the 56,000 UP students.
That's a lot of people.
And I think these are people that look up to you and people that are inspired by you. So I think...
Sorry to interrupt your viewing experience. We have the SRC president to react to your confessions as UP students. First up, this one guy I met on Tinder low-key catfished me, and when confronted about it, it was revealed that his photos were from a time that he had a severe drug addiction. Is it bad that I'm more attracted to that part of him?
Hey man. Each to their own, I guess. Each to their own. The first problem is Tinder, but each to their own.
We listen and we don't
We
judge.
listen and we don't. If he makes you happy, then pop
We gotta put our hands up.
You heard it from the SRC president. So the next confession is, I catfished my friend as a joke in first year.
Sure.
Texted her with a different WhatsApp number as a gent. Started talking to her then, promised her the world and all of that. She got attached, like seriously attached. I felt bad and stopped. Now she looks for the catfish guy in every guy she speaks to.
Stop.
She thinks he's all perfect. She goes every guy she speaks to and always says that she's waiting on the catfish guy to come back.
Wait.
I feel so bad. Hey, it's bad, folks. Every day I listen to her speaking about the guy and I have to support her delusions. We are now in third year and she has been waiting. Should I tell her the truth?
Yo.
I mean, people have energy and time, hey? To curate that takes a lot of energy and time. Whether to tell her the truth or not, I'm Christian, man. I'm so scared God strikes me with lightning for lying. So I'd say tell her the truth. I'd say definitely tell her the truth.
I feel that is a unique experience that I think people can't do.
It's bigger than me.
Yeah, I know.
So the last confession says, I knew she was the one when I lost my job suddenly, and she took a second job to support us until I got another. She single-handedly saved us from living on the streets without a single complaint and was so supportive. I'm going to marry this girl. Man, your soulmate's your soulmate.
That's adorable.
That's honestly what I can say. And the biggest thing I've learned, also meeting my boyfriend, is you can't do life alone. So once you meet that partner, like, grab them and run with them.
That is such a complete 360 from the previous one. I think that's what we all strive for, isn't it?
Definitely.
That's
Perfect. Thank you. You may enjoy your viewing experience now.
I think when you spoke previously about having given that speech to the first years, I was that first year.
Oh, wow.
So I remember we sat in like this huge hall and it was like all of us with all this excitement, and it was my parents, and I remember they called you onto stage and they were busy like naming all your achievements like one after the other, and my parents were like, no, that has to be you, right? That has to be you. And I was like, don't pressure me. And then I remember you gave your speech and I literally just sat there in awe, and I was like, oh my god, I have to, like, this is my inspiration now.
That means a lot. Thank you. That honestly makes my heart warm. So, like I said, I feel like everything's a full circle moment. And I never want to come across as like a statue. I really am a human being that has emotion. So outside of giving a speech, in a whole. Like to have a one-on-one conversation with you, knowing that you listened to that speech, that's a full circle moment for me. So
how do you manage that? What keeps you going through that?
Yeah, that's definitely a very difficult question, but I think SRC and any leadership participation or structure can get to a point where it's very draining and you burn out, or you're giving from an empty cup. So I almost want to say what keeps me going, or a few of the things that keep me going. A student just saying thank you. I know it sounds so simple and small, but I suppose just someone saying thank you almost refills your cup, or it, I suppose, reminds you that you are creating impact and you are assisting people. There is so much that goes on every day, and there's so much touch and go, that someone recognizing that you've assisted them gives you energy to assist the next person.
That's very true. It's a very good way to think about it. To shift the conversation a little bit more, as we have established Chichi, the person, the human being with feelings, but we would also like to hear a little bit about what exactly the SRC does. So in that sense, before we dive into that, you have chosen law as your field of study.
Yeah.
And we also know that you've been appointed as a candidate attorney at Worksmans for 2026, which is a big 5 law firm. Congratulations on that. We're so proud. Why did you choose law? Yeah. And if you did not choose law, what would the second option have been?
So I'm going to start with your second question. I think like majority of high school students, everyone wants to study medicine.
Yes.
And that was kind of my mindset in high school. I took every subject that you could associate with studying medicine. And unfortunately, I don't know if it's an unfortunate thing, but I got 5 distinctions. So as much as it was good, it also wasn't good enough for medicine at that time.
You're joking.
Yeah, unfortunately. So leading to answer your second question, or your first question rather, one of the subjects I took in high school was history, outside of your physics and bio and accounting. And my history teacher once approached me and sat me down and said to me that as much as I'm gearing for medicine and this is what I want to study in university, she thinks just because you're smart, don't necessarily waste your other talents and skills that could be better suited for a different degree. And she said she thinks something like law outside of academics would cater really well for my personality.
Wow.
And the love I have for helping people, my ability, I suppose, to engage and speak to people. And it's crazy, but I took a 5-minute conversation, and yes, I still did apply for medicine, but I simultaneously applied for law everywhere. And a 5-minute conversation completely changed my whole career choice, 100%. Yeah. So although I didn't get into medicine, like I said, I believe everything happens for a reason. So law definitely was my destiny.
That is so cute. I just realized I've never had an original experience. Because my history teacher was the way you described your history teacher.
Wow.
Well, I didn't take history, so I can't take that. But my math teacher, I think about her a lot. What a sweet woman. But since that 5-minute conversation had it changed your trajectory, do you think that if you studied at a different institution and UP, you didn't end up coming to UP, do you think you would have had the same impact?
Sure. I think in whatever space I landed in, the aim was to, like you asked, create impact. So different institution, I don't know to what extent, but I definitely would have been in a space where I would have tried to change lives somehow, somewhere. But I definitely do think UP is a place for me. The challenges here are a lot more relatable. I want to say the people are a lot more real, but the university I wanted to go to, if not UP, was UCT. And the more I grew up, the more I feel like UCT is an even more bigger bubble in terms of living in a utopian society. And I think UP, because it's also close to home, I'm from Joburg, it's a bit more real for me.
Okay, that's a very interesting way of looking at it, and I love the way that you thought about it.
That is. But since you did decide to bless UP with your presence, so we understand that the University of Pretoria is a diverse and dynamic institution. So from your perspective, what is the most significant opportunity that the SRC as a whole has right now to positively impact the student body?
Are you asking like what initiatives we have that would impact the student body? So I think the SRC is not like, for example, a specific structure that only assists with one problem. We literally cater for anything and everything, down to student accommodation, funding, academic issues. So I can't pinpoint one thing, but I think if I can highlight a big thing that we're trying to focus on this year is financial assistance. I'm a firm believer of the fact that finances shouldn't be the reason why you don't take opportunities or participate in things or be exposed to things. So in any way or any sort of form where we can alleviate financial burden, I think that's probably our biggest goal or our biggest initiative or the biggest thing we're trying to get out there.
Financial assistance, I think, is a very big issue, and it's been a very issue that has been going on for very, very long. So what do you think your SRC is doing to better that? Because it's been an issue for so long.
100%.
How is this time different?
Yeah. So I think I'll put it out there first and foremost. Every SRC that comes in tries their utmost best to assist students financially, especially because, and I think this is a very unknown fact, we don't get any funding from the university. So anything we use to assist students would have been funds that are raised purely by ourselves. And I want to say one thing we tried to do that was different this year was establishing the Ariagen Bokamoso Fund that I think you guys would have heard of.
Yes.
We basically reached out to corporate SA and the public and try to make it as raw and relatable as possible, and making them understand, or making the country understand and citizens that they're contributing towards the future and education of a person. And I think that's probably what we're trying to do different, actively fundraising, so that students also can see that we are, doing something to try and assist them. I think the worst thing is asking an SRC for assistance financially, but you actually aren't sure where that money is coming from, how they're getting it, are they actively fundraising for it, who gives them that money. So trying to be also as transparent as possible as to where do we get this money from,
Yes.
who donates to us, the fact that we fundraise and it's not given to us. Just those small things I think sets us apart.
Apologies for interrupting your viewing experience. Right now we have the SRC President telling us two truths and a lie. Can you guess what it is?
Okay, so my two truths and a lie. The first one is I was born partially blind and had eye surgery at birth. The second one is I've represented South Africa in a sport. And the third one is I can't hula hoop.
Okay. Listen, she said she loved sport, so I can understand
Yes.
representing South Africa. What grade were you in?
Grade 10.
Grade 10. She
Yes.
told her,
So she would have been in Parktown then.
well, she
It was
started.
like a brand new school.
Was this the brand new school, or was this your school where you were head girl?
So I moved in the beginning of grade 10. So I was
Okay.
at Parktown at this time.
And they let you represent the country the first year that you're at that school.
Yes. So yeah, I don't know if you want me to expand on that or
I
not.
think the more important question is why can't you hula hoop?
What do you mean you can't?
Unfortunately, I can't do everything, and one of them is hula hooping. Do you call it a hoop? After one swing, it's on the floor.
No, I don't believe that, because I feel like Miss Girl can do it all.
Yes, but I also think that's something you learn in PE. And
There was always that one
Yes.
kid. There was always that one kid who just could not do it, and that's me.
I don't believe
Nah.
because you spoke about anything you put your mind to.
Okay, but also eye surgery is a crazy one. You don't have any scars on your eyes.
Maybe they
Should we
should.
take a closer look?
Oh my gosh, I'm just inspecting you.
I was a newborn.
Okay, valid. Skin is quite
I was a
rejuvenated as a newborn. I'm not sure. Okay, what are you thinking?
I think it's the eye surgery. I think when we asked about little Chi-Chi, she would have said
She
something.
would, yeah, she would have. Nah. It has to be the eye surgery.
Is this final answer?
Yeah.
Are we locking it in?
Yes, we're locking it in.
So the lie is sorry, I just need to. The lie is I can't hula hoop.
Oh, that's deep now. That's so deep.
So with regards to the eye surgery, I am 3 months premature. Well, I was born 3 months premature. And there was a lot of complications with my birth, including my eyesight. So I had surgery at birth.
Wow.
And then, yeah, I think the second one is pretty obvious. I played touch rugby from grade 4. And in grade 10, I represented South Africa in Malaysia.
Oh, wow. Wow. Damn, so it really was the hula hoop.
Yeah. It was
Everybody can do that, Chi-Chi. We need to be better.
No, but wait, isn't it... Wait. Guys, how do you play two truths and a lie?
So I do think you have touched on a very important topic for a lot of university students across the country. So I do know that the National Student Financial Aid Scheme, so NSFAS, plays a very crucial role in supporting these students. So what specific challenges or gaps have UP students experienced with NSFAS recently? And how has the SRC engaged with both students and NSFAS or university management to address these issues?
Yeah, definitely. I think you've asked a very important question. I think first and foremost with NSFAS, and it's something people, I suppose, don't realize, is it's not a university-based issue. It's definitely a nationwide thing. So what we're going through, I can tell you 100% is what every single university or anyone funded by NSFAS is going through. And I think some of the challenges that we're encountering that I'm pretty sure is parallel across the country. Let me say right now, we're dealing with a defunding crisis. So around mid-year, NSFAS will defund a whole bunch of students for various reasons. So either, for example, N+1, so you've exceeded your funding years. Another one is if your household income exceeds a certain threshold. One of the other reasons if you applied within the wrong timeline, so for like TVET colleges as opposed to public universities. But one thing people don't realize is as soon as your NSFAS funding is revoked, there's so much that is affected. Your school fees, accommodation, it means you're not getting an allowance every month, so you can't buy food, toiletries. So yes, funding is revoked and people automatically assume, oh gosh, I can't pay fees, but there's so much more damage that takes place.
I do think it's a very serious issue, and I think that, I mean, we've, as the university students, we've seen the emails that you guys have sent asking for the help that you've previously spoken about, getting those companies to assist with the funding. So I know that today, July the 21st, is the Ready, Set, Thrive Welcome Back activation. So what is the main message you hope students take away from this event as they kick off the new semester?
I think the biggest message I can give is it's not too late. You can still turn it around. I think not everyone's semester 1 went as planned, especially with the introduction of test week. And a lot of people are sitting in a position where they think it's the end of the world. You can still turn it around. The biggest thing I can say is start from day 1. People normally take advantage of the first week and, make it your introductory week. But honestly, start working from day 1. And it's never too late. You can turn around your academic career the day you choose to.
You can also turn it around the day before a test. So, reflecting on your journey to becoming SRC President, what was the foundational vision or primary message of your campaign that you truly believed resonated with the student body? And how are you now working to manifest that vision in your current initiatives?
100. So my campaign, when I ran for president, was called #LetMeHearYou. And I think the biggest message I was trying to portray was, as leaders, especially leading for so many years, we fall into the trap of thinking we know what students want and we know what the current issues are, and we forget that these things change every year. So I suppose the thinking behind #LetMeHearYou is, for once as a leader, I just wanted to listen and not assume, and really understand the raw issues that are happening on the ground and what has changed. And as much as, yes, every year people struggle with academics and accommodation and funding, but there's niches every year and specific issues within that. So I just wanted to be in a position where students felt like they had a voice and a platform to just cry, if I can put it like that.
You spoke, sorry to interrupt, but you spoke earlier about how some universities, or just the space that you find yourself in, you can kind of find yourself in a bubble. So do you feel that your Hear Me Out campaign definitely broke you out of that bubble a little bit? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know if you want me to
Yes.
expand on that. Like I said, I think if you're a student who comes here purely for academics, you don't realize what more there is out there. And I think, like you asked, the #LetMeHearYou campaign allowed me to actually realize, what is going on out there, and how it really is bigger than me, and bigger than me in the sense that there are so many issues out there, and they're all so unique. Sometimes there isn't I forgot the phrase, but like you can't apply every single issue with one paintbrush. Everything needs your specific attention.
Yeah, perfect.
That is true. I think when we're getting now down to our last two questions, I think especially now that it's a bittersweet moment that your term is coming to an end. So looking ahead, what are your primary goals for the remainder of your term as SRC President?
Yeah.
And I think more importantly, what is the lasting legacy that you hope to leave for the future UP students, such as myself?
I think in terms of goals for the rest of the year, I think I definitely want myself and my SRC to finish off strong. One thing as leaders, when your term comes to an end, you definitely start to fizzle away as a leader. So I really want us to finish off strong. I want all the goals we had in the beginning of the year to be materialized. And I think the big things we really are focusing on this year is funding. I really don't want financial barriers to hinder anyone from succeeding. In terms of lasting legacy, I mentioned early on that Steve Biko is one person that I really look up to. And one of the ideologies he drove was speaking about how your mindset is your biggest obstacle. And I think that is one of the reasons why I started leadership or wanted to help people, was making them realize their greatest potential and helping them unlock their greatest potential, and letting them know that their mindset is honestly the only thing holding them back. If they put their mind towards something, whether it's sports, academics, being a singer, being anything they want to in the world, they're honestly capable of achieving it to the best of their abilities. I think if that's one concept I can leave with people, I'd definitely leave happy.
That's very beautiful, and that perfectly wraps up the whole conversation that we've had with you. To ask one more question, if you could give any piece of advice to any person on campus who looks up to you or aspires to be you, what would that piece of advice be?
Sure. I think it definitely ties in with the previous question.
Most definitely.
You can do anything and everything you put your mind to. I feel like I've been put in positions where what I wanted to achieve was impossible. I got to Parktown Girls, my high school, in grade 10 and wanted to be head girl. I got to a university where SRC is a very politicized space and was able to be president as an independent candidate. So you are honestly capable of anything and everything you put your mind to. Like, your greatest limitation is yourself. So put yourself out there, grab every opportunity by the horns. You're honestly the only person that can disappoint yourself if you don't grab that opportunity.
That is so true.
And that's awesome, hey? I think You've just given us brilliant answers all the way.
No, she came and she said she's ready. Thank you so much, Chichi. I really appreciate your time here, and I think your voice is so impactful, but I think it's also so important, again, that people remember this is a human being, you know, and we're all capable of it. And as you have said throughout the entire episode, it's about you. So I think that's a very beautiful message to leave the fellow students with. And we are so honored, SRSJ is so honored to have you on our very first proper podcast episode.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I honestly had a great time. Like I said, this is my first time doing a podcast. And
Same.
I'm glad the first opportunity was to do it with you guys. You honestly have amazing energy and had a great time. So thank you for the invite.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think from your first year that listened to you from the beginning, thank you.
That was my thank you for tomorrow.